Oh boy, Black Panther 2. Emotional. Ladies and gentlemen. Uh-oh. A true legend. Someone who's seen the movie early because he's one of those special Negroes has garnered almost 100,000 views, and the movie just came out today. Ladies and gentlemen, the sexiest voice in all of YouTube is my brother, B. Avery. What's going on, B?
Man, what's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing out there? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good, man. Just on this Wakanda Forever tour, reviewing and reacting and trying to soak it all in, see what it means, geek out, cry, triumph, all that mixed in between.
Man, I'm happy to have you here because I watched your right out of the theater review and I said to myself, that boy was almost about to pull out the bleach bottle right there in the movie theater. They were going to call the damn police. He committed suicide.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just what he said, ladies and gentlemen. It was also the emotion in the way he said what he said about his review. And so I had to have him on my show after I seen it, and I just seen it today, to a packed theater at 3 p.m. as if folks ain't got no damn jobs like Tommy.
Right.
And I was expecting the movie to be a little worse based on eating around the cookie on people's reviews. But I'm interested to hear B. Avery's full spoiler review as we get into this thing. I'm Lamont Tyson. That's the big homie B. Avery. And we about to give you guys some great opinions. Our link is in the video description. Stick with us as we talk about it. So B. Avery, talk about this movie. Give me your overall synopsis before we pick it apart. What you like, what you didn't like, and I'll do the same, and then we'll go through it piece by piece.
What I liked. I liked Okoye. I like Shuri. And I love.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You like Shuri?
I like Shuri, and I love Queen Ramonda. Angela Bassett. Those are the standouts to me. I also found the Talokans, the Mesoamericans, Namor. Pretty much everything involving them was pretty dope. I mean, I like the intro of them. When they was on that CIA drilling mine in the middle of the ocean, and the Talokans popped their head out the water. And you really couldn't see what was going on, but you knew some people was out there. Then they started doing their native call, chanting in the air, and it was all spooky with the music going in the back, making men go crazy and jump off the deck to suicide. I was like, whoa, this is nice right here. I like this, man. This is dope. And Atuma, he was a badass, man. He made multiple entrances, and he was making a statement like, I'm Atuma, I'm ready to fight anybody that stands in my face. The battle on
I was a little disappointed with Atuma.
Really?
A little bit, yeah.
Really? Oh man, he stole the show. Why was you disappointed?
I expected you know how we are disappointed about the way Marvel has treated Hulk. They showed you that Atuma was strong, but I feel like they didn't want to show you really how strong he was because he would have been stronger than Namor.
So okay, I don't know nothing about him. So Atuma is stronger than Namor?
Underwater, yes.
Underwater. Okay, this is new to me. I've never heard that before. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess that's interesting. I guess we could have saw. And what's up to everybody in the chat? I wish we could have saw, him underwater. But is that the only thing that disappointed you? About Atuma.
Yeah. That's it. I like the banter between him and Okoye. I did like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I like that. I like how he kicked her ass the first time they met up, and then when she got her new tech, she came back and she commanded the ass whipping. Then,
right. The only thing I would have appreciated more from round 2 is if she didn't require the suit.
I agree with that.
You in the war, of course, you want to come out on top, but at the same time, I mean, I don't live by the sword today. In modern 2022, However, I still do have martial arts in my veins, from a young boy and years ago in college. You know what I'm saying? And it's just something about a one-on-one fight, mano a mano, either hand to hand or weapon to weapon, just to see who's. That's what made that fight on the bridge just so badass. It's like Atuma was like, "Let me f the mission. There's a warrior right here. I haven't had a worthy opponent in quite some time. I want to flex real quick, and he did that. And so it kind of took it away that, okay, round two, you got a suit or a come up. I mean, I'm not tripping, I'm not upset about it, but I would have preferred, her not to, just for pride and ego, talking, so
The thing is, I don't know how she would have done that when he's super strong. He's way stronger than her. And she gave him everything he could handle from a normal person's perspective, going against someone who has super strength. She gave him the business. Yeah. But if she would not have had that suit, she wouldn't have been able to get the upper hand, I don't think. Unless they would have used some other scientific construct, maybe took his ass to the desert and let him dry out too, something like that.
Gotcha. I have an idea of how that scene could have been much better, but I'll hold on to that commentary until I get more on things that I really didn't care for. But I love Angela Bassett I love Angela Bassett as the Queen, Shuri, and Okoye. I love the bridge fight. I also really liked all of the conversations that they had in the throne room between all the tribe leaders and the elders. That was dope as hell, because going into this, I did, it's called Wakanda Forever, so I'm expecting to see more of Wakanda. And so, when the people of Wakanda was coming together, whether they was agreeing or disagreeing, yelling, hashing it out, whatever, I did like that. It was a bit brief, short-lived. I wanted more of it, but I like that. And of course I can talk about the things that are to be expected, like, the costumes was freaking fire. You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
Yeah, Ruthie Carter killed it. She needs to get an Oscar, another one, because I think she got one the first time around, or at least nominated. So, I said in my review, I was like, man, if they put these costumes on sale, I'm gonna go on a credit card debt, because they were, they was lovely. Hey, Miss L, they were lovely. Also love the score. The music was wonderful. Especially when Shuri came down in the Black Panther suit, that I don't know, like that. I don't know how to. It was some type of electric guitar or something, but that was dope. I like that. I mean, a little bit that we did see of M'Baku, that was nice.
I knew it. I knew you go. I said the same. I already know what me and BA were gonna agree on. I was like, damn, M'Baku. Lord have mercy. God.
I'm trying to think though. I mean, what else? The intro scene of Queen Ramonda addressing the United Nations, while they were editing that scene in with the attack from the Frenchmen on the vibranium base in Mali, when Michaela Cole popped up with her daggers. That was a beautiful scene. Just when Angela Bassett stepped on that scene with that black dress and that headdress as well, I mean, my God, man, that was man. I need a woman like that in my life, bro. I would drop.
Did you see the guns on her at her age? Did you see them defined arms, that silky skin?
Perfection, bro. Bro. I know you married to I forgot the brother's name. He's an actor as well. He's been in the game for a minute, but
Courtney B. Vance.
Yeah, yeah. Man. I kind of side note, do they have children? I'm just curious.
I'm not sure. But
she was amazing, man. She was amazing doing that scene, and she just had so much confidence and authority. Like, look, I caught you in your lie. You mad at me and talking about mass destruction, but you got your own people trying to infiltrate my ish. This is why you're not getting under my vibranium. I could have killed your man, but here they are. We sending the fire to all your audio video devices. I mean, that was perfect. Also when she demoted Okoye, that was a powerful scene as well.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt. Like, you felt that, and the parallel between the family Okoye lost versus what Queen Mother had lost. And Okoye, I think she was more hurt, not because she wasn't going to be general no more, but because she hurt Queen Mother. Did you feel that? It almost felt like Queen Mother was her mother, the way she kept referring to her
Yeah,
as mother,
yeah,
even in the death scene.
yeah,
Like, to
yeah,
me, Okoye stole the movie. Even though she wasn't the main, it wasn't centered around her. She was another movie stealer again.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, she was, man. Those are my favorite characters. Namor himself, if I
Yeah,
didn't speak on, yeah, he was badass, man.
he was good. He was
Off the
good.
top of my head though, that's like the standouts that I really liked. Everything else is either just in between or I didn't care for it.
Okay, so we're going to get to your list of dislikes in a second. Let me reverberate to you what I like.
Gotcha.
I love the soundtrack. You already hit on that. What stood out to me the most was the song Rihanna did at the very end when Shuri was just kind of soaking in all the things that had happened. That was powerful to me. That, like, the song fit the moment. I like that. I'm with you. I love Namor. I love his introduction. I love when he had Shuri and the scientists as prisoners. Ironheart, ladies and gentlemen, had them as prisoners. I love the way he set the tone for why he wanted to separate himself from the colonists. I get that. The colonizers. I get that. And I thought it was powerful because he's letting you know, when I go to take my mama back home, I'm seeing something that was not going on in 1576 whenever he was born. I'm seeing white guys making my people slaves. And I decide I'm going to kick their ass and I don't want to deal with y'all no more. Almost behave as if that's mercy, because I really could bring my whole tribe up here and kick everybody ass. Almost like another Killmonger situation. So I did like that. I'm with you. Did you like the way they treated the opening scene with the ritual for T'Challa? How did you feel about that?
Well, I think it's good that I hate to sound insensitive when I say this, but got it out the way. It was the opening, scene, and pretty much everybody. That's one of the main reasons why people are coming to the film, to see how they're going to take care of that. My first time watching it, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I felt that they didn't spend too much time. They didn't spend enough time on it. However, the second time I saw it, it resonated with me much better. I really did like it. I thought it was beautiful. It's not what I would have done myself creatively, but I can't necessarily just judge it, off of what I want, how it is. I mean, they executed it fairly well, especially when that he was in the casket and the ship, elevated him up, and then the way the camera was kind of panning up and everybody had the Wakanda Forever sign or symbol and the music in the back. I thought that was beautiful.
I did too.
My favorite part of that was just showing the casket floating up in there. I thought that was beautiful.
That was amazing. I was going to say that of all what they did, having the people going like this and that casket literally going vertical, literally.
Yeah, right.
It felt like some transformative state. Like I was into it. I enjoyed that part, and this is my first time seeing it. So that stood out to me, and it was something that I did like. I like that. I like the visuals, B. Avery. Like you said, the outfits, the worlds that they have created from Namor's world to Wakanda. I enjoy all those visuals. I felt like the acting was fine. And anytime you spend this kind of money, you're going to at least have a movie that's going to make at least a 6.5. You're going to get that. And I felt like they accomplished that. But then, B. Avery, there's a lot of bad I got to talk about. Now, having said that, before y'all get ready to say he about to bash it, I'm telling y'all, it's an entertaining movie. The acting is good. It's a lot of good parts. There's even some humor sprinkled in here. And for those of you that are not lured to the comic story, see, I'm so lured, I brought up the source material for what they made this movie for. It comes from this particular comic about T'Challa and Namor. It was an attack on Wakanda. That this is the real source material. And so if you are someone who doesn't know the lore, you're gonna go into this thing and you're gonna have a really damn good time. But if you're someone who's kind of a comic geek like me, B. Avery, E-Man, the people we mess with, you at least know the cartoons and you might know the comics. There were some disappointments you felt like Marvel could have took advantage of with this movie. And so as I careen into that, B. Avery, talk to me a little bit about some of the finer points that you didn't like or you was just in with starting from the top as best you can remember.
Yeah, man. Well, what had me so emotional and pissed off when I walked out the theater and the video y'all initially saw was the death of Queen Ramonda. That was ridiculous. That pissed me off to the utmost degree. I'm just like, why would y'all do this? Are y'all crazy? Like, are you insane? This is ridiculous. We already are dealing with the death of Chadwick Boseman. That is enough. That is enough. That is enough. And for you to double down and kill somebody else, let alone Queen Mother, I just thought that was an awful, atrocious idea. I mean, brain dead level stupid, in my opinion.
Do you? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Ask your question.
Do you not feel like they used it as a plot device to get Shuri over the hump? They used that to get Shuri to a point where instead of seeking vengeance, she see Queen Mother and she saves Namor. So you feel like they could have used a different plot device to drill home that same exact point.
1000% yes. I mean, you are a writer. Be more creative. You didn't have to kill her. You could, if you wanted to kill somebody, you could have killed somebody else, or you could have just had her severely hurt and be put into a coma or knocked out.
I agree.
You know, in critical condition, like she's hanging on her life. You know, she, you know, I mean, she's barely making it. You know, like, why do you have to kill her?
You know what they could have done? I'm gonna tell you what they could have done. This is exactly how they could have done it. The whole, and by the way, people, if I didn't say it, we are spoiling the movie. So if you haven't seen it, we're spoiling. And if you just enjoy hearing us spoil it, we're going to spoil it. The setup in the beginning, B. Avery, was that she needed Shuri to try to synthesize the heart-shaped herb. Okay? Shuri, the minute Shuri got that bracelet from Namor, I said, this is what she's going to use to make the heart-shaped herb. I said it like you couldn't fool me. I knew that was going to happen. They could have had Queen Mother knocked out, unconscious, about to die. And after the battle is won, they could have had Shuri give her some heart-shaped herb to resurrect her.
100%, bro.
And easy. That would have took this movie a whole nother point up, in my opinion.
Right.
We did not want to see Angela Bassett die. No way.
Right. And I think it's fair to say, okay, of course, if somebody punches anybody's mama, the child is gonna be pissed off and seek revenge. That's automatic reflex. I meant kill. If somebody kill your mama, you're gonna respond. But if somebody punches your mama in the face, you're still gonna respond the same way. You're still gonna be mad. You're still gonna be angry. You're still gonna want justice. And so it just the killing that was over the top. I couldn't focus on the film after I saw that. I was becoming physically uncomfortable. I was moving back around in my seat. You know, I was tears nearly came out of my eyes of anger and frustration, man. I was really upset. And what hurt me the most is like I said, I actually said this in my review, but when I was editing it, I edited it out. But I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I was like, I expect this from non-black people, like writers, to put something in there like that. It hurt even more that Ryan Coogler and Nate Moore would approve this, or even came up with the idea. I don't know, but I just think that is insane, crazy that they would, you know, kill two people like this in one movie, on top of everything else we have to deal with. And so it's.
Maybe Angela was at the end of her contract, and maybe they felt like this was the easiest way to get her out of the contract. But I would love to know how she felt about the way they killed her. Some of y'all going to be mad at a character that I felt like they just didn't have to have in this movie, to be honest with you. Well, I might as well just go ahead and say Ironheart, I wasn't all that thrilled she was in this movie. I love the science and all that she represents for women. I'm all about that. But as a character, I felt like she was wonky and didn't need to be in this movie. And to think Angela Bassett was sacrificed, Queen Mother was sacrificed, saving Ironheart and her storyline. I wasn't feeling that behavior. That bothered me. To be honest, I'm just keeping for me. For me, not maybe not you or anybody else, but for me, it was wonky to have Ironheart in here when you could have done so many other things to enhance this movie.
100%, man. I agree. I don't feel that she should have been in the movie either. Now, the first time I saw it, she was a bit annoying to me. I thought she was doing too much in her dorm room when she was trying to
Kinda.
throw the
Yeah.
radio. I mean, like, I would just saying to myself, okay, like, you know that this woman is here with Princess Shuri, so like, why are you acting this way? Like, just calm down a little bit. And when she was in the garage ripping the papers off the wall and burning it, and I'll just go, with the FBI. I'm just like, just shut up, shut up. But the second time around, I did like her a bit more. But I still agree with you. She should not have been in the movie because her character got in the way of other established characters that we can talk about in a minute. Just wasted screen time. I mean,
Yes. Yes.
they could have come up with another way for people to try to look for vibranium, or another scientist could have did it. It didn't have to be Riri. I mean, we are not. I don't know where Ironheart is going to take place. Whether it's when that Disney Plus show comes out, whether it's going to be after the events of Wakanda Forever or before. But I mean, that's a big deal. You're 19 years old and you're able to mimic Stark tech. I kind of want to see the whole origin of that. And we kind of started in the middle of her story, of her journey in this film. They was kind of trying to mimic Captain America's Civil War storylines, and it just wasn't executed as well in my opinion.
No, it didn't fit. It did not fit. That was out of place in this story. We're already missing in this chaotic storyline. We're already missing T'Challa, who is the yin and the yang for Namor. In the comics and cartoons, they are yin and yang to each other. They hate each other, but then they come together to help each other. So you're already missing that. And when you, as someone who knows the lure, come into the movie theater, knowing that you're going to have that deficit, to see the next Black Panther team up with her, it didn't feel right. It just felt out of place. And there was, B. Avery mentioned you could have used somebody else. I'll tell you who you could have used, because these two characters, I'm so frustrated of the misuse of these two characters. B. Avery, you know who I'm about to say. Ross and Val. You could have easily used Ross in place of Riri. Easily got him more involved. You could have easily used him. Then they sprinkled in Val being his ex-wife, and we all know Val is going to be attached to the Thunderbolts. So the whole movie, I'm sitting there waiting for a plot to develop, thinking that Val is going to call somebody from the Thunderbolts to get involved with something. Like, I'm thinking maybe Atuma is going to show his true power, because maybe she's going to get Abomination. Maybe she's going to go get the Walmart version of Steve Rogers. I thought something like that was going to happen in this movie, and it didn't. So if I'm wrong, be able to tell me I'm wrong. But I felt like they wasted Ross and Val in this movie. Please tell me how I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong at all, man. You're right. It did. I mean, like, their involvement didn't suck, but it's it was screen time that could have been, with other characters, in my opinion.
Yes.
Elliot said it best as well. I heard him say it first, like, yeah, man, they're just using them to set up, or especially Val, to set up, phase 5 and, the Thunderbolts, it's just, and I'm still bugged out that we have Ross here in this movie twice instead of Samuel Jackson. It just make it work. Why? I mean, the biggest Black man in the world with all this intel and just resources, it will make sense that he would be rubbing the elbows with the people of Wakanda. And it just also bothers me, just from a united stand front and culture. Just, I want to see a Black American teaming up with Black people in African nations. But I don't know. I just feel like the execs like, oh no, we can't show that unity between them. That's going to give them too many bright ideas. You know,
Well, they gave you that with Riri. That's what they tried to give you with Riri. And
no,
and
I guess
and
you got a point. I guess you got a point
and,
there.
and behavior. Not only did they give you that, but the movement for women and science and STEM. They gave you all that with Riri and Shuri because both of these women are highly intellectual, highly intelligent women that are making inroads in this universe because of their tech advances. So they gave you that. That's why I said in the start of this thing, if you are a female and you are not a canon to the lure of Marvel, you're going to have a great time. You're going to have a good damn time because they gave you everything you wanted in this movie. But
yeah, you're right. And but the only I see what you're saying. My only pushback is if you're doing this for women and in technology and STEM and all that, you don't need Riri. You already got Shuri doing that. She's smart. She got the tech and all that. It's just I'll go. Well, I'll save it, but I just still don't feel like Riri should have been there.
I'm
You
with
know?
you. I'm
Yeah.
100% with you for all the reasons we both said. But like you also said, you wanted to see someone from America come team up with Wakanda that was black, and that's what they tried to give you. So that, but the Val and Ross, what was the point? Like, first of all, the movie is 2 hours and 43 minutes. It's pretty long. They could have damn near cut out every scene of Val. You don't. We know Val is coming, and if you're not going to use her in this lore for something greater, it didn't do anything for me that she's Ross's ex-wife and that she is military detail trying to get her hands on vibranium. That does nothing for me. Like you just and she had one funny joke that was semi-funny. Nobody really laughed, but she tried to get it in there. I love her as an actress anyway, but she didn't need to be in this movie, ladies and gentlemen. That was a waste of time, or they could have brought some other actors to do something, have a different storyline to put in place of those two.
Yep.
And other than that, behavior, what else was you lukewarm on?
Well, like I said earlier, the lack of M'Baku, you know, that really
Oh
bothered
boy.
me. That's what I'm saying.
Oh boy.
Riri Williams and Aneka, the new Dora Milaje lady, but played by Michaela Cole. Both those women should not have been in the movie. Their screen time should have been given to M'Baku, and it really frustrates me as well because I remember earlier this year, it was a report that came out that said M'Baku is going to be getting an expanded role and have more screen time, and he either had the same as the first one or less. And that's just a huge missed opportunity. I mean, we're already missing T'Challa. Wakabi, Daniel Kaluuya's character, had a scheduling conflict with Nope, so he's not going to be there. I just don't see how you missed it to not, put M'Baku in the movie more. But you want to bring in two new women. Now, to other people that may be like, "Oh, you hate women," no, because Okoye was prominent. That's a one.
Very prominent.
Lupita, Nakia, Shuri, and Okoye. Those are four women right there that could have led the film. You didn't need two extra. It should have been those four women that I named and M'Baku at the forefront. But you put M'Baku in the back and then bring up these two new women that don't nobody know. No, keep Aneka and Riri back and bring up M'Baku. M'Baku should have went on to America with Shuri and Okoye, because it would have made a funnier dorm room scene. And can you like the Talocans? They're cannon fodder. They have four on the bridge. You can have 8 or 9. And what if Okoye and M'Baku was fighting back to back on the bridge against a team of other Talocans? That would have made it even more badass. You know what I'm saying?
That would have been legit.
Like when he knocked Okoye on the ground, what if he would have looked over and after he took care of these Talocans, like, okay, oh, you want to hit a woman? Let's switch. And now with M'Baku versus Atuma. What? Wow, missed opportunity, bro.
Dare I say, B. Avery? Dare I say it? Some of y'all gonna be mad, but I'm keeping it 100. Dare I say they borderline emasculated M'Baku? And let me explain why. Let me explain why. He was when Queen Mother died, he was being the liaison for Shuri from her brother. This is what your brother wanted you to do. Almost like T'Challa gave him a wheel on protecting the sister. Okay. When she finally became Black Panther, she didn't go to the mountains to ask his help. She said, "You gonna do it." You remember that part? Do you remember the first time he saw Namor? When he came up out that water and he hit Namor with that stick. Namor just put his arm up like this, broke the stick, turned around, hit M'Baku so hard he broke his armor, cracked it, and hit his ass clear across Wakanda. And my man was having lung problems. Dare I say they borderline emasculated him? B. Avery, is that too strong of a word?
Yeah, somebody DM me with that as well. Shout out, I see you in the chat, but I'm not gonna call you out. Not in a bad way. I don't necessarily want to say that. I don't want to use that word, but they didn't make him look good. I am disappointed at his reaction though, because he was like, and it was like a little funny moment. You know, E-Man and Elliot pushed back and was like, oh, he was just reacting because he was surprised that he's still alive. But when I went back and saw it the second time, I was like, nah, why did they have to make a goofy moment out of it? You know, I mean,
it was goofy. It was goofy. It was goofy. It was goof true.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm saying I feel like they didn't do it, but I felt like they was getting borderline close. I'm not saying that they fully did it, people, but I felt like they was getting borderline close. You know they was getting close. They was getting close.
Right. Something else that bothered me, bro, is we have these different tribes of Wakanda, right?
Right.
One of them is called the Border Tribe.
Tribe.
I'm assuming that they guard the border. Am I correct so far?
You're 100%.
It did make me feel some type of way, or I was on the fence when the first time that Namor was able to infiltrate Wakanda undetected, unseen, under the radar, and he approached Shuri and Queen Ramonda. Now, I can give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, of course Namor will be able to infiltrate Wakanda because, you know, he's a mutant. He has vibranium as well, and he's super strong and super smart. So, you know, because he's covered in vibranium, that would kind of make sense. But what pisses me off is right after that, the only mention of them being infiltrated was a joke by M'Baku in the throne room, saying, because they was talking about the fish man, like, you know, what do we do? He's like, I think we should kill the fish man. Is when he charged up the border tribe people, like, y'all should be embarrassed to set your foot in here, and they almost fought, and the queen was like, break it up. But there should have been like later on when Ramona died, they infiltrated the Wakanda again twice, but there was no conversation, no meeting on, okay, we've just been infiltrated the first time, let's do our homework, let's raise our defenses to make sure that this does not happen again. But there was no conversation about that at all. Like, y'all make such a big deal about how Wakanda is so impenetrable, but they're broken into twice in the movie, and there's no type of, you know, like, hey, let's figure out how we can raise our defenses so, you know, they're not able to do this anymore. I mean, I don't understand that.
Now, Shuri did make mention that we should do something to shore up our defenses. Shuri said something like that. And M'Baku said the ultimate, we need to go kill fish ass. That's what M'Baku said in the same meeting you're talking about. That was going to be his way of doing defense. But if you recall, Shuri had mentioned we need to find a way to do the defense, and then she got pulled away from the conversation with her mother to go do the mission with Okoye. They stopped that conversation because Okoye came in and was talking to Queen Mother about, you know, we need to go and get this scientist out of America, all that kind of stuff, and they never came back to it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just still wasn't enough for me, you know.
No, I'm with you. I think what they wanted us to believe, is that since they had the same kind of technology, it was just simple for them to get through all their defenses. Just very simple, you know, and they wanted us to just assume that they would get to that problem after they get to the urgent matter of getting the scientists.
I guess.
Well, let me ask you about Shuri's arc to becoming Black Panther. Are you comfortable with the arc they gave her, or did you have some qualms about it? I had a little qualms about how the hell she learned to fight that quickly. I'm still trying to decide how I feel about that finale battle with her and Namor. I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about that. But I'm interested. Are you satisfied with the journey to her becoming Black Panther?
Well, I am, but it just still doesn't feel too authentic or earned.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she has the smarts to do it. I like the fact that she was able to use the past trials of trying to create the synthetic herb. She used the technology from the relic that she got from Namor and then T'Challa's DNA. I mean, and the herb does make you stronger, but it just, it just wasn't fully baked. It's just like you said, man. I understand she's gonna get stronger and have reflexes, but how do you learn how to fight like that when that had nothing to do with your character in the past? I mean, T'Challa been training his whole life, and I don't know.
So
I don't know.
that's more of what I'm saying about how not having T'Challa made it feel out of place for scenes like that. It just made this thing feel out of place. To some degree, it made it feel rushed, in my opinion, to some degree. And I just felt like another way should have been done to defeat Namor.
Yeah.
I don't want to say we need to call in somebody else on the Marvel roster. I don't want to say that. But at the same time, the Black Panther, to come out and defeat someone who's been living since 1576, you just became the Black Panther for the first time.
It just seems too easy. I mean, like they wrote a reason. I mean, because he was weakened because they did microwave him in the ship.
That's true, but he was still powerful.
And she did get stronger, but I don't know, man. It wasn't it wasn't horrible, but I didn't love it.
No. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I wasn't trash. It wasn't trash, I'm not a, it just, I wasn't sitting there like, I wasn't like that at the end of Black Panther 1 either, but still.
I wasn't either. It wasn't, like you said, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't over the top good either. And so I just felt like the story arc for her becoming Black Panther just needed a little bit more meat. Okay, that's all I'm saying with that. Here's a good one. Here's a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, there is only one post credit. And we'll come back to this person's mother in a second. In the post credit, B. Avery, they introduce T'Challa's son that has been hidden away for 6 years, 6 or 7 years. At first, when you see them introduce the son to his auntie, you're thinking like, no way y'all doing the same thing you did from the first Black Panther. No way. And then after it gets broken down by mom, why they kept it a secret, T'Challa didn't want him to deal with all these ills, it makes you feel a little bit better. But B. Avery, are they trying to tell us that we are going to get a new Black Panther? Or are they telling us that we're going to have the Young Avengers and this little son is going to team up and become the new Young Avengers version of Black Panther?
Maybe, bro. I have zero interest in the Young Avengers.
Zero?
Zero interest.
Because you do know Riri going to be on that team too.
I don't care. I have zero. I didn't like it when little baby Tucson T'Chaka popped up. I didn't like when Scar popped up. I'm not too in love with Love from Thor Love and Thunder. The chick from Hawkeye is cool, but these derivative characters, these babies, sons and daughters of, I just have zero interest. And I was not happy when I saw baby T'Challa pop up because he's 6 years old. It's gonna take a long time for him to grow up and take
be a Black Panther.
We're gonna do a time jump. I don't have any interest in it, and I feel like they wrote themselves into a corner. They didn't have to include that in the movie. They could have just left it open, and if you wanted to do that, do it at a later time when you're more sure. They just was like, okay, let's just throw this in here now to appease them. Here's y'all's T'Challa, guys. We met you in the middle. I'm straight. I'm good. I don't need it. I can't hear you. Or maybe something wrong with me. I can't hear y'all. Can y'all hear me? Is something wrong with my stuff? I can't hear you talking at all. Hold on, let me try to. Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay. I fully feel like B. Avery, they brought him to head up the Young Avengers, and I fully feel like they're trying to tell us we're going to give you guys a new T'Challa. Because B, what's the point in having the multiverse if you're not going to use it? What is really the point in having the multiverse if you use it for Loki? Damn near there's a turtle Loki, there's a dumpster Loki, there's a jackrabbit, there's all kinds of variants of Loki. Yeah, alligator Loki. What is the point in having that if you're not going to use it? B? Got to use it. How did you feel about Killmonger popping up in this thing?
That was cool. I like Killmonger. I was, of course, I immediately thought of Larry. I said, "Oh, Larry."
Me too.
Lose this damn
me
mind.
too. I was like, Larry gonna be swearing up and down. He done told us the rightful ruler of Wakanda has shown. Did you see how in his scene everything was on fire and shit? It was just like
I liked all that.
I like that part. That part was dope.
Said Larry gonna be in the theater. He gonna lose control, celebrate. They're gonna kick him out. Sir, calm down. Yes, I'm back, baby.
He gonna be in there having those things I used to have in my youth, a geekgasm. He gonna be right up in there, all over the place, having that geekgasm. So, having said all these things, B. Avery, with where the story arc is now, are you at all looking forward to a Black Panther 3?
I mean, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna support it. I'm gonna be fair, but I'm not looking forward to it at all.
I hate to say it too, man.
We're not gonna have a T'Challa. We're not gonna have a queen. The whole royal family is dead. What is there to look forward to?
And
it would be different if this movie was amazing. We don't have T'Challa and we got the baby and all that. It'd be different if they killed T'Challa, but this movie was good. We didn't get what we wanted, and it was still kind of messy to me.
It was messy. It was definitely messy, and they didn't lead. The movie didn't end with you feeling like, how some movies are so good you feel exhausted at the end. This one had you exhausted because you're thinking this could have really been a banger. There were so many things you could have revamped, little things here, little things there, and it could have put this movie completely over the top. If anything, a lot of people had emotion about the death of T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman in this movie more so than they did the parts that made the story its own story. I mean, there was one guy sitting beside me who his favorite parts of the movie was every time he seen Namor. He loved the introduction to Namor, and I like Namor too.
Yeah, Namor was nice.
But I felt like B. Avery, they left his conclusion of his story. It didn't leave me with a cliffhanger either. I thought Namora was about to be a villain or something, or turn on him and run the Val. I thought that was because you remember at the very end, she was mad that he said he yielded to the Wakandans.
Right.
And I thought that was when she was about to punch him in the gut, flee away, and go somewhere and call Val and say, I'm on your team or something like that.
I would hate that, to be honest with you. Namora teaming up with that, I think that's highly unlikely. I mean, it could, but that's just, I think Namora will get over it. I don't think she'll be that mad to abandon her own people.
We've seen, Killmonger abandoned his own people.
Yeah, but she underwater, and I don't see. I mean, maybe, who knows? But I don't see that coming. Something else that kind of bother me is like I like Namor's initial concern, like, hey man, because of your son open up the borders, y'all exposing us too. But he still didn't have a good enough reason just to want to burn down the whole world. Like, I want to burn down the world. And he had the scientist Riri in his palace for hours. He should have killed her. And something else that bothered me was the first Black Panther film, you had black people versus black people.
Right.
Second Black Panther film, you had black people versus brown people.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the black people of Wakanda cannot fight the real global threat, which is white supremacy, the colonizers, the people that are still trying to sneak into your place and steal the vibranium. They hinted at that with the French attacking. And at one point, one of the representatives for the United States was like, okay, the president wants to attack Wakanda for destabilization. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see all these people of color fighting each other, while the white people are sitting on the sideline laughing like, ha, look at them kill each other, and then we can steal that vibranium. I mean, I know that didn't happen, but the real threat are the colonizers. It's not just a joke that Shuri makes talking about colonizers in chains, or whoever said that, Okoye. I want to see them get their ass whooped, what they deserve to get their ass whooped, and we didn't see that. We get people of color fighting each other.
You're not going to see the colonizers fighting them because they want us to believe in this story the colonizers are not threatening them. However, Namor said at the very end, they will attack Wakanda, and Shuri will come down here and need us to team up with her. And he said it in a sinister manner that made me think that when that does happen, he might turn on Wakanda and try to take over everybody, beat up Wakanda and beat up the colonizers that are coming too. That was kind of the way I read into the manner in which he said it to Namor. That's kind of how I read into him saying that. Overall, B. Avery, before we get out of here, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, let us get those likes. Let B. Avery get some new subscribers. If you've never seen this brother before, he puts out great content, works hard as hell, does a live show every Sunday night that I will be returning back to real soon. And he reviews everything, TV, movies, you name it. Super chat the brother. Go subscribe to his channel. Overall, B. Avery, how would you rate this movie right now that you've seen it more than once? How would you rate the movie, and why would you give it this rating in 2 sentences? Like, summarize it to a strict synopsis, your rating being why.
6.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And my reason is some of the creative decisions were extremely insensitive, and they tried to force too much into this movie, which made important aspects fall by the wayside. They played the substitution game too much, in my opinion.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna chime in with him. I'm gonna give it a 7, a hard 7, because I like what they've done. I like a lot about this movie, but then there are a lot of drawbacks for me for this movie. It was too long. They could have taken characters that felt like they just dropped in here for no reason. They could have took them out and replaced them with better characters that we already know that could have helped out Wakanda. And I felt like the death of Queen Mother was a waste.
Right. Big waste.
Just a gigantic waste. I also didn't need to see Toussaint. By the way, people, Toussaint Louverture was a Haitian savior. He sat at the feet of Napoleon Bonaparte. I would know because me and my homeboy had to do a paper on this man in high school. They named their son Toussaint, one of his names. I felt like we could have waited on Toussaint.
Yeah.
I want to see what was going to be the big setup of how Wakanda and the new Black Panther were going to be utilized in the future. They almost made this movie feel like this is going to be it. Like, I mean, if they was to put to bed the Wakanda movies, this movie kind of felt like it was it the way it ended. And so I'll give it a 7 because visually it's amazing. The introduction of Namor as the first mutant, I really like that. I like the science and tech and STEM that it showed with females. And Okoye And Angela Bassett stole the show. And that's why I would say it's good for entertainment. It didn't hit me with the impact and emotion that the first one did, but it's good for entertainment. It's not the kind of movie I'm going to see people going to see 3 times unless you're doing the type of stuff me and B. Avery do.
On top of that, bro, I had my tickets. I had them. I mean, the first 2 times I saw it was free Monday and Wednesday, but when the tickets went on sale, because there's no guarantee we're gonna see it early. So when the tickets first went on sale, I bought 2 tickets for a 3 p.m. show today, but I got my money back earlier because I just didn't feel like sitting through it a third time. You know, I already saw it twice. And it just didn't blow me away. And one of my last criticisms is we did not get to know anything new about Wakanda. Like I still at this time, I don't know what the population is. I don't know the politics, the economics. I don't know all the different tribes and their cultures and what's important to them, all the different languages. I didn't get to know the people, nothing. But we got to know Talocan. But us getting to know Talocan got in the way of us learning anything new about Wakanda, which is why I wish this movie would have been canceled and we would have focused on multiple Disney Plus Wakanda series or a solo Namor movie, but them trying to force everything into this movie, a lot of stuff was underdeveloped, underwhelming. And so it's just kind of unfortunate. And real quick, these ideas for Wakanda show, one season or something could be like the origin of Wakanda when the vibranium rock meteor comes and hits the earth or goes into the water. You can also have a series or show just on Dora Milaje. You can also have one on King T'Challa's daddy. You can also have a Black Panther story dealing with the events going on during World War II. All of these are stories that we would have signed up for, in the absence of Chadwick Boseman. That didn't have anything to do with T'Challa, and y'all could have postponed it, but they still came out with the movie, and it just didn't reach its full potential, unfortunately, to me at least.
My sentiments exactly. It did not reach its full potential. I enjoy seeing Nakia and them hind parts. How did you feel about her overall arc?
I like her character. She was shaped quite nicely. I just wish that she was involved in the film a bit more. Her. I mean, I know she's a war dog, and I mean, I wasn't really cool with her just running off to Haiti, but they gave her valid reason. She was trying to hide her son, so I just wish she was in the film more because she's such a talented actress.
She is. And her and Okoye on screen together is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, she's great with whoever. She is really great with whoever, but I could have stayed to see more of her and Okoye on screen versus Shuri and Okoye, if that makes any sense. That would have been a little better for me. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be seeing more of these kind of reviews. I'll actually be back again tomorrow night to discuss it with the Hammer Moochie and Nita the Diva.
Mooch!
And yeah, man. And then I'll have a review Sunday, and I'm going to try to jump on B. Avery's channel. I know he's going to talk a little bit about this too. After Crystal's had a chance to see it, to see what she thinks. So you guys stay tuned for all the good stuff we're going to be doing. And B. Avery, what do you have going on your channel, or what are you going to be doing? Where people can find you between now and Sunday?
Yeah, just type in Just My Opinion Reviews at YouTube and hit that subscribe button. About to cross 42K subs, trying to get to 50K as soon as I can. Maybe by the end of the year, we'll see. Yes, but tomorrow, like right earlier or 6 p.m. today, I had part 1 of a spoiler review. It was me, Elliot, and E-Man, pre-recorded. Tomorrow, I have round 2 spoiler review. I already uploaded. That's going to drop at 4 p.m. It's me and my homeboy Malcolm. He's a gentleman that I actually started my channel with 9 years ago. We reviewed the first Black Panther spoilers, and so we had to come back for round 2. Round 3 of my spoilers review will be on Saturday, and that one actually will be live. It won't be a recording. And I know Kimberly with Southern California, she's coming through, and Lamont is invited, Larry's invited, the whole crew is invited. And so if you guys want to, hear another take of it with the big crowd, come through Saturday at 4 p.m. And then Sunday, I got my show, 6:30 p.m. CST. I'm definitely going to be talking about Black Panther box office and see how that performed and I also will try to get my Love is Blind recaps out tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to get my my Atlanta season finale video out tomorrow or Saturday. I watched it early today. They gave it to us late, but I watched it early today, and interesting season finale. So that's some stuff that you can look forward to on my channel.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep these airways and YouTube ways blazed up for you. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. I will be putting this on the podcast. And B. Avery has a podcast too. This is how you can find me on the podcast. Come check me out. B. Avery's got a podcast link in his video description when you go to his channel, so check him out. Till that next Sexy as Hell video, we are out.